Live. Hey everybody, John Bobrow here, creator of Blinks. Welcome back for another one of our lunchtime live streams. Today I'm here over Zoom with Dan, our head game designer. Dan, what's up?
Hello, sorry. I was also trying to get the stream open. How you doing?
Today, Dan and I are going to play some games, and I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this. We've been mailing out, and there's going to be a lot more going online over the next 2 weeks, but on October 20th, we're going to be bringing more goodness to the Blinks platform, more games, and you can find out all about that by checking out and signing up to be sure to be first to be notified for our next Kickstarter launch. And so over the past few weeks, I've been playing through interviewing some of the designers of these games, which are part of the Blinks Epic Adventure expansion pack. And all of the games are feeling really good, but the one, instead of having the, Dan is, I would say, equally as much a game designer here, but Dan will be representing Brett Taylor.
Yeah.
And
I can tell the story of why I'm here representing Brett Taylor.
Perfect. So yeah, let's, and if this is your first time joining one of our live streams, check out some of the other ones. There's how-to videos. And we'll get into the Blinks in a bit. But yeah, Dan, tell us a little bit about the game that we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, the game we're talking about today is called Alchematch. It started its life as an experiment made by Brett Taylor back in January at the Global Game Jam. He made a series of really awesome experiments, and we liked so many of them. But at the time we were making a community set, we're like, well, we're not going to have more than one by the same developer, so let's just keep these in the pocket for subsequent releases. And so Brett worked with us closely on Group Therapy, which was the game from the Game Jam that we published in the community set. So if a backer of that, you can look forward to Brett Therapy. One of my parts, but in the time since then, Brett has moved to Europe. He's gotten an amazing job at a development studio in Europe, and wasn't as available to do like stuff like this because the time zone difference. I think right now it's 7:05 where he is. And during his move for a while, he didn't have his Blinks. They were lost in some box somewhere. So I stepped in to basically finish up the work he'd already done. So Match 3 is essentially the game he made. Alchematch is essentially the game he made, but time to add some flourishes, change some little things about it. But fundamentally, this is Brett Taylor's game. I'm just here to represent it, on the stream. And I have an alchemy background. I just Googled some alchemy background because it seems cool.
That's, and I feel like this is something that, I don't know, like I've seen evolve between you and Brett and the team as well. Like, he made this one-day sketch that was like, I think there's something really cool here. And it was the kind of thing that, like, I had broken out and just found that people were totally addicted to in the same kind
even
of...
before this game had been, like, refined, we were showing it at conventions and stuff. It's so accessible, and just like they get it right away how to play with it. And so all we've done since, we've added some sort of fun extra features that John hasn't seen yet. We'll be surprised by some of the things he's seeing.
I'm looking forward to seeing the latest. I see some comments in the chat about the emails going out, which we'll address in a Kickstarter update tomorrow, but our fulfillment warehouses are receiving all of our last Kickstarter, getting ready to ship them out. And so I just want to give a nod to that if you did receive an email from Cornerbox, it's an unfortunately unlabeled email, but all it means is that your package is getting ready to go out, and tracking information will be shared very shortly. So, yeah. But let's see. So let's hop into the game. Should I just load up Alchematch?
Yeah.
So
now I'm just gonna look on stream. Oh, you're also doing this with 13 blinks, which means you won't need the safety function I added this for.
Perfect.
Which I'll explain in a second.
So I'm gonna do. So if this is your first time seeing blinks, each blink is an intelligent game piece, and each one knows a single game. And I'll hold one up. When we ship blinks, they've got this beautiful game art on the back, and the top has a nice kind of squishy button. What's happening right here is this one blink is teaching all the others how to play. And okay, we're off to the races.
The purple and the pink are very similar on camera.
Let's see, the purple and the pink are similar on camera.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do any...
I mean, it's not a big deal. You've got very clearly identifiable yellows and blues. Purple and pink is very similar.
Okay. Actually, I like the thought of... it seemed to look a little bit...
These 6 colors, by the way, while John's looking for something, are something that I am actively working on today. There are 6 colors that I chose that were distinct, but I chose them like 2 weeks ago just because I needed something. But they will be probably 6 slightly different colors of release, because I think these could be better considered. The fact that they look so similar on camera is a bit of a symptom of the fact that the purple and the pink I chose are...
They're pretty close.
They're pretty close.
They're close-ish.
They're not what they will ultimately be. But still.
So let's see. So we've got... So the theme of this game... So this game's called Alchematch.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about the theme.
Yeah. So you are an alchemist in the whatever century people thought alchemy was going to be a thing was. And you're sort of mixing together little elemental ingredients, and this is presented by these 6 colors. And your goal is to put them together and activate their alchemical properties, and that will cause them to change. Like changing lead to gold, it will change from one thing to another. What you will eventually notice is that when you make a certain number of changes, you activate some things like alchemical potential, and it won't happen for a little bit, so I'll let John just do some of the splitting. But basically, the game is played similar to Fracture. You take it apart into 2 pieces and then recombine it into 1 piece. So John is trying to make, I think, the pink match there.
Ooh.
Right. Oh, and he got yellows, and they cascaded, and he got reds. Oh, and he got more yellows up top. Okay.
Cool.
That was the end. Now, something you'll notice is that the sort of cauldron of ingredients is bubbling slightly. It's, John.
It looks so beautiful.
Yeah. What you will notice is over time, that bubbling will become more intense. The more matches you make, the more intense the bubbling will become. And it is a way for you to know which pieces are close to achieving their potential.
Okay, so I'm gonna try this. Okay.
Now, generally speaking, cascades are going to help you because it means in a single move you'll make, 2, 3, 4 matches. And for cascades, you want to get the group as clustered together as possible. But I'll tell you that Brett Taylor, when he described this game to me, his favorite thing is finding a way with a sync to make 2 matches at the same time. So for instance, you've got 2 greens, right, and 2 yellows. Yes, I believe there's a way. Yeah, exactly. And you're able to make both these matches in 1 move.
Awesome.
You've got blues.
Oh, so close.
Now,
okay.
At some point, as you're playing, and maybe I'll just let you play for a few turns. I want you to be very aware. Something special is going to happen to one of these blinks eventually, and you need to make sure you're paying attention.
Okay.
There it is. And you only have 2 seconds to react.
Oh, I missed it.
You missed it. So you're going to have to get another one up to that level.
Okay.
Now, that's okay. A lot of these are up fast. Like, you can see that sort of purple one at the top. You should get another one soon.
Okay.
Look for ones that are bubbling harder and try to match those. Are you going to get 2? Nice. Oh.
Whoa.
There you go. Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So when you tap them, it's exciting, right?
Okay. So when I see the spin, and Dan didn't warn me about this. He's just like, I'm gonna let you figure this out on the stream. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw one spiral, and I was like, whoa, what's that? And I tapped it, and then it looks like what happened was it turned all of the ones around it into its color. Yeah.
And then automatically matches them, which also means that if there are further of that color on the next layer, it's going to match those too.
Wow, awesome. So like if I get like a yellow spiral and a ring and a half away is a yellow,
you're going to match a ton of them. Yeah.
Cool.
But you only get a moment to do it. And so I'll tell you the sort of history of this, which is that Brett's original version had bombs like this, but they were permanent. They just sat there, and if you pressed, what they did was they simply exploded the neighbors. They didn't change their color, they just exploded them. And it was actually Mary, who has appeared Ishmael's stream, who some of you might have sort of seen on here, who suggested, well, what if it's time limited?
Oh, so good.
What if forever? And it's so smart. And it really changes it. And so this is violently bubbling. You're gonna start to get a bunch of bombs. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You missed one.
Oh, did I miss it?
Yeah, it was yellow right in the middle.
Oh, I totally.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's probably just me. Let's see. Let's go get this one. There we go. So I wanted the red one because I saw red out there.
Right. The other thing about the bombs is that they are they will overwrite each other. So if you bomb next to another bomb, that doesn't stay. It has full administrative power.
And I'm seeing some stuff in the comments. Basically, Blink's Bejeweled. Totally.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when Brett made it, he just called it Match 3. Like, he didn't even... he was like, yeah, it's a Match 3 game. You know Match 3. His big thing about it was that in Match 3, there's the clever rearrangement to get more than one match at a time. And he was like, this is even better on people if you do it like Fracture. And then... John, when you would play it with people at conventions, now it's not quite going to fracture the way you want. No, that's heartbreaking. When you played at conventions, would play by counting cascades.
Yeah.
I'm watching you miss them.
Oh, really? I get carried away watching the cascade, and
you gotta watch.
Interesting. I wonder,
It could be louder. I mean, right now it's just sort of that spin. In some ways, I thought that having the bomb state would stand out more, but it could be different. You know?
Yeah.
It also lets you know what color it is, which is nice.
I love following the cascades. Mm-hmm. So it's where my
that's your way of playing. Yeah.
Eyes naturally go, and I think that's probably just a little bit of my the fact that I'm used to playing that way. Is that like I'm...
You gotta get one.
Oh!
Get one.
Nah.
There you go. Oh, you almost got it.
Nah.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
What's fun is that because you all start at the same time, this kind of like these rushes. Because making a match via being bombed counts. It counts as a match. So it increments your count. Another thing I want to... And this is for people with 12 blinks. Now, John has 13, so he doesn't have to worry about this. But because there are 6 colors, it is technically possible, it happened to Jacob, yeah, to end up with 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. To end up with no matches. And so I have added a function where if you triple click a blink, any blink,
Oh, cool.
it just dissolves itself.
Regenerates.
Yeah, and it will always be a different color.
So, Dan, I have to say, like, first of all, I'm having a ton of fun. Like, this is really cool. I could play it by myself. I could totally see Jamie and I playing this tonight. Like,
yeah.
But I also have to say the animations are just really beautiful. It's the color palette's great. I know it's a little close on camera, but I don't actually have that problem in person.
No, and I don't either. It's very close on camera.
And then the last thing I was going to say is the last time I saw it, every time there was a match, there was kind of like a subtle fade out and like fade in. And I remember my like one piece of feedback was like, nah, it's got to feel more juicy. And
that little white swirl. So that's funny is that it's the same animation, just that thing. Like, it's the exact same fade. I didn't change a thing about it.
But you added
just that swirl.
You added the swirl,
which was in Brett's original, and it got lost when I was redoing some of the graphics, and so now, like, put it back in, and that's the thing. Is like I said, this is fun in this game. When he made it initially, it was amazing, and I'm just sort of, putting it back together.
It's so satisfying. I'm so excited for people to play this. Whoa!
Oh, you got one. Oh, you got another one.
Here we go.
Yeah, so there's this sort of time of cascades. But yeah, the bubbling was nice. It's a good. That was a good addition. Another sort of Mary and Jacob suggestion of they're like, we want some indication of how well we're doing, but we don't want it to be obvious. The obvious solution is to just tick up faces, but I don't know, it's not that evocative, and also it means that you can't do like more than without it being kind of weird. So right now it's 10 matches. Easy to change, but based on me playing it, Jen playing it, watching you play it, seems like a good amount of time. It's not happening so much that it's overwhelming.
Yeah, no, I think it's...
You can probably get the yellow and the greens in one go if you just take that whole, like... Oh, can I introduce you to Jacob's game? Because I think you'll really like this.
Yeah.
Take one blink away. You have one too many blinks.
Okay.
And change it in a 3x4, like this. You know what I mean? This is not going to show up. Like that. Disappearing. You know what I mean? Like this.
Like this.
Yes. Okay. The rule is you can only move straight rows. So, for instance, you can take this whole chunk at there, or you can take this row and put it down here. So this is Jacob's like competitive version.
Oh, I like that. I see. It's almost like playing threes.
Yeah. So you have to move them in so it always stays that shape. And it's about moving the edge to the other edge.
Oh, that's a nice idea. I feel like it's that's a cool way to play.
So 3.
There we go.
5.
Boom,
6,
baby.
7, 8, 9.
Boom.
10. 11. Yeah, so you would be competing for like the longest or the biggest chain after your move.
That's cool. I like this constraint. It's actually working out pretty well. There's often a move I can make that will complete.
And right now you have the benefit of being like partially through. So like all of yours were like pretty just the point where you got a couple of bombs. At the initial outset of this game, it's it's low bubbling, but it's also possible like that some moves don't produce something, so you sort of give up your turn essentially.
Now, here's an
Um,
interesting thing. I could be wrong about this,
yeah.
but I believe in the current arrangement,
Mm-hmm.
if I keep shearing edges,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I can actually solve a 3.
Oh, the other thing is you're not spinning them.
What's that?
So okay, take the one with the blue row, the blue the
The
row that has
row?
blue, and bring it down. Oh, wait, move the yellow over. Sorry, move the one of the. Oh shoot. Oh, I got it. No, take one of take the short row with one yellow.
Oh, I could do this though, couldn't I?
You could right. You can. Oh, you can. Hadn't thought of that. Yes, you can. It does maintain the shape.
That's cool. Okay. Yeah.
So we're getting some questions in the chat that I want to address. So, is this a single player or multiplayer game? It is. It is primarily a single player game. It was designed as their game initially, and it is meant to be played casually. It's something that you do. It's an experience. It's just the fun of doing that. As a 2-player game, the idea is to take turns, and then we are going to suggest some ways to keep score. John likes to play number of cascades. That's one way to do it. You could also just count number of bombs. That's something that you can sort of incentivize. The other thing is that there's a question about scorekeeping. The scorekeeping being done is the amount of matches, and that produces bombs. There is no overall scorekeeping. There is no matting in the current version. I will say that there is a function that I have most of that I wasn't working today, which produces a larger bomb that, when pressed, just wipes the whole. And that's sort of meant to act as a like grand finale. But that's something I'm experimenting with. I'm not game needs it, but it's something that I have the space for in the communication, so I thought I'd try it.
That's a good question. So like I'm having a lot of fun with this 1-player. I'm thinking about how much fun Jamie and I would have playing it 2-player. I feel like any opportunity to, I don't know, I think that's also, I could see people commenting on the thread, like one of the neat things is like Jamie's kind of the brains of the game pair, where I'll think, we just think in different ways. We both approach, and it's really fun. We're both really competitive. So I feel like the spotting something, like I feel like we could play this cooperatively. I feel like we could also, you were saying we could play it competitively. I feel like there's also a way you could play this with like trading involved or something like that.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Right now, with the fact that the bombs self, eliminate, it wouldn't really allow for a lot of like thoughtful back and forth.
I feel like it's fair to allude to some of the things down the road for Blinks, which is, a number of our games, you can tell like some of them have scorekeeping would be handy. So either scorekeeping happens on a piece of paper, but a lot of what Move 38 is working on, in addition to the Epic Adventure expansion pack coming up and publishing more games from the community, is where we think about the expansion of the tech. And we could spend a whole live stream talking about those kind of elements, but I just kind of want to nod to the idea that it's not something that goes unnoticed, that Move 38 does think about how to score and scorekeeping and the ability to share those things with other people or compete remotely in person are things that we look forward to bringing to the platform. So,
and I think that that's something that we will obviously be talking about in the future. But I think another thing, you had a stream with Jay last week, or the week before, about Treasure Tumble. So something that comes up, and it's funny because this is a lot of times I'm on the other side of this, but there are people, for instance, like Jacob, our intern, uh, like Brett, the designer of this and group therapy, and actually several other experimental games that we just hold on to and we'll probably see more of. Often think about Blinks in a more toy-like way. I know, John, this was something that early on you and I had discussions about. Things like Zenflow are not strings. And so this game, as it is now, leans into being a toy a little bit. Does not have a kind of prescribed, coded end state. You can come up with an end state, you can come up, but they exist on paper or in your mind. What the technology does is facilitates play, and you can then struck and feel the need for that. Now, I, as a game designer who came from a strictly game design background, not product design, not toy design, I'm all about there's got to be some rules, there's got to be a goal. I think anyone who's got the core set will know that widgets, which isn't in and of itself a game, came with a bunch of rules. Because I was like, I don't feel comfortable releasing this without a goal, without some kind of structure. But it's been really interesting, working with the interns this summer, especially with Jacob, working with Brett, getting a little bit more comfortable with the idea that like it is okay for a thing to just be fun. And I really for a long time, the reason I struggled coding this game, John, was that I just kept trying to figure out the end. How does it end? And it was really like rededicating myself to just making it fun that produced this, which is really fun,
It's
oh, that's a good one. Like that was great because there were so many blues on the periphery.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think I get this as feedback from our customers a lot, which is, and I'm curious to hear more input on this, but I think more often than not, I hear from people, I love how they support open play. Mm-hmm. Like that my kids or my friend, like that we can just get into them and have fun. And like what you're talking about and finding that it's like, yeah, it's really, and like you can come back to like, it's really cool. Like this rule that Jacob created of like the structure here, like that's really smart. It's actually really well balanced. I can tell it's even shockingly more balanced and mathematical than I would have expected. Even the way, for example, that shearing this side.
Yeah, there's actually like 4 places you can put it and 2 orientations of each of those. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's almost such a good mechanic that I wouldn't be shocked to see like an iOS game try and recreate that. But
yeah,
the I feel like we're striking a really good balance, and like in the Epic event, I'm just gonna kind of talk briefly about the set because we're 2 weeks away from October 20th. We're not far out. And the next 6 games that we're going to be launching are all this, like, they all have an arc to it. Now, like, I think, Dan, like, you've done such a good job with, like, not only curating the games, but, like, finding something that, like, we wanted to move Blinks into a space that builds game worlds. Like, and I feel like this is our first experience and first attempt at world building.
Yeah. Well, it's it's the kind of thing where several of these games, not all of them though, as is typical when people first start developing on Blinks, they develop abstract games, which makes sense. You look at the first 12 games we made, we set things were abstract, but in this set, we started with Keir Williams made Ghost Hunters, and that was what it was about, ghost hunting from the jump, right? He was like, it's not abstract at all. This is about ghost hunting. I've represented ghosts and flashlights and lasers. And then, working with some of our other partners, we started with some abstract games and then, pushed them towards having a little bit more bite. But all of them, it always helped. Like, for instance, Tiptoe Volcano. Have you played Tiptoe Volcano on stream? I've lost. Tiptoe Volcano began semi-abstractly, but then once we determined that it was about a volcano, it actually inferred the mechanics that came after. Match 3 started as you match 3 and they disappear and they come back. The idea, I spoke to Brett on the phone, it was nighttime his time, about this game. I said, we'd like to think of a theme for this. Alchemy was his idea. He was like, what about combined elements? And that's where the, maybe they should upgrade. Like, alchemy is all about trying to build something greater, and that's where you get the up. So, yeah.
I'm getting some really satisfying ones here. Oh, just a little late.
Sometimes you miss them. It's going to happen.
It's funny, now I'm actually pretty good at seeing them. It makes me feel so... The first time I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if it's going to appear on the stream, but I'm getting some lag on the camera for some reason.
Yeah, I keep getting internet unstable warnings, so hopefully... but let's see. I feel like this is really cool. So I think everybody got a chance to see Alchematch, and I should hold it up to the camera just so you can see how... Let me see if I can get like a nice...
Oh, well, you know what? The colors are very distinguishable now.
Yeah, I mean, in person...
It was just...
Yeah. There we go.
It's frozen on my end.
Well, hopefully that's still streaming. Before we end the stream, I just wanted to say thanks to all the people, especially everybody who's in the chat. Jonathan, Bruno, Lee, Jonas. We're really, really excited about what's coming up. I see also Mike in the chat. We're going to be back on next Thursday. We're going to be actually packing up developer kits. So developer kits are going to be shipping out. And I want to let everybody know who's entered for our raffles that we're building. So this week I'm not actually going to be rolling the die for a giveaway, but we're going to compound it. So keep sharing our posts. It's adding to your opportunities to win in the raffle, but that we're going to continue the raffle again as the Kickstarter comes. So yeah, we're going to be, and it's important for us to announce that next weekend we're going to be live streaming for Aw Shucks. Dan, do you want to say anything about Aw Shucks real quickly?
Yeah, so if anyone knows the channel, Shut Up and Sit Down, it's a great board gaming channel. They run a yearly convention in Vancouver called Shucks Sit Down Expo. Obviously this year, for some reasons, they're not going to have it, but they are having a first of its kind. There will be a digital convention floor. There will be booths, which will basically be sort of small embedded videos and banners. Click on them, it will take you to a Twitch channel where you can watch the designers, developers playing their games, answering questions, stuff like that. We will be streaming throughout Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The goal is to try and play every Blinks game over the course of the weekend. A favorite game. We're going to have a schedule that you'll be able to get through the official Aw Shucks calendar. It's free to attend. So, it's just going to be this great weekend. You can check out lots of board games, lots of just like cool stuff. But we will be in the floor, so to speak, streaming games all weekend. And I will be doing a small developer stream at the end of each where I live stream just like we're just going to kind of whose line is it anyway a game. I'm going to take suggestions from the audience and going to kind of live code, show people the basics of Linux development, and hopefully make something kind of fun.
I'm really looking forward to it, Dan. It was, yeah. Well, I think it's time to wrap our live stream. Let's see. Of course, I have to remind everybody, mark your calendars for October 20th. I'm going to throw a link in the description as well. If you send people to move38.com/epic, that will take you to sign up and be first to know when we go live. And of course, if you're waiting on your blinks, they're coming your way soon. They're all landing in the distribution warehouses. The game mats look amazing. I'm really excited for you to be receiving those rewards. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, of course, make sure you subscribe down below. Mash that bell, mash that like, ring that bell, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
And if you're in the US or have friends in the US, please get out the word to vote. I know that you can start turning in ballots early. You can take a mail-in ballot and walk it into your local voting place. And
I'll be voting early in Brooklyn. I think New York early voting starts a month. So I think October 23rd is when early voting starts. So that's how I'll be doing it.
And if you're not in the U.S., but you have some friends in the U.S., definitely let them know that it's so important for them to get out and vote. So I think on that note, Dan, thanks so much for sharing Alchematch. Really can't wait for people to see it. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yep.
Later.